Yo, ladies and gents, I'm about to show you my settings for like basically everything general. So general is like basically general. You don't need to do anything with this basically. Streaming, however, if you don't know your stream key, click on get stream key and it would show you what to do, and then you slap it in here. With YouTube, yeah, you click on YouTube. With Twitch, same thing. You could also do the get stream key. With everything basically here, you could get stream key. Output, okay, for streaming, don't click this, because if you click this, it will basically go up and down between whatever your base canvas resolution is. So like if you're a 720p person, you're gonna see it hop below like 480p up and down. It's gonna look blurry basically. Encoder, I have a AMD GPU, so the AMD would be H264/AVC encoder AMD Advanced Media Frame Mode. Most of you will probably have an NVIDIA graphics card, so it's gonna say like NVANC or NVANC new. So use like NVANC new or NVANC, any one of them. X264 is gonna be using your CPU. So if you're playing Minecraft, don't use your CPU, because your Minecraft mostly uses CPU to use it. Yeah, don't use that. Preset, you just leave this blank. You can leave this at balance and it would be fine, but like I do quality because like I know my PC could handle that. My PC specs are in the description if you're wondering. And I use CBR, constant bitrate. I normally don't use 6000, I use like 12,000, which is pretty good, I must say. And for this we don't trouble. And oh my gosh, guys, please do this. Normally keyframe interval is set at 2. Please put this at 1 if you want the crispiest streams of all streams, okay? Please put this at 1 because it will help you out a lot. This is what I get caught up in every time. I didn't know what to do when I was streaming from a graphics card, because if I switch to X264, it doesn't have that. So graphics card, you leave this at 1. Okay, my recording settings, I have this at standard. Yeah, make sure you're in advanced mode, by the way, because simple is like, you know, we're not simple out here, we're extreme. This is where you want your recording to roll. So you could like come out to your browser, into your desktop settings, and then just like click on this and then go to like your desktop and then make a new folder and call it like YT. And then if I put select folder, it will be selected right now, but I don't want that, so I want to go back into my EmperorX folder in my G drive. And now please put this at MP4, because MP4 is very good. The reason why it's so good is because it's mostly compatible with like every editing software, and I'm gonna talk about that more in the video. I'll get a good editing software for you newbies out there. Audio tracks, just have one, because if you have multiple audio tracks it would be good, but like the stop recording or stop streaming button would take a very long time, and then if you like force it, it will just like corrupt your recording or streaming. So well, when you're streaming you're finished, so you could probably have this open for streaming, but for recording keep this at 1. Encoder, once again, you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you probably have NVANC new X264 and NVANC. So use the new, because I see a lot of people use new, and new would like make you the crispiest of crisps, okay? But for AMD people, use H264 AVC encoder AMD Advanced Media Firmware and you're good to go. Make sure rescale output is disabled. Preset, we don't have any. Quality, so just keep this at quality. And CBR, constant bitrate. Okay, for streaming you leave it at the 6000 or 12,000, but for recording go to the moon and back, my dude. And onto the bitrate, I have mine set at 250,000, which is pretty good. And you could obviously go higher to this. Some people do 1,000,000, but like depends on what your PC specs can do. And if you're using X264, which is this, if you don't have a graphics card, for laptop users or someone who just doesn't have a graphics card, you leave this at this, because if you try to put the kilobytes per second to the like 250,000, you will literally explode your CPU, so please don't do that. And same thing for keyframe interval, put this at 1. It will save you a lot, really good. I mean like a lot. And for your video output, so basically this is what you play in. Like you play your games in either 1080p or 720p. Most users 1080p, so yeah. And your output, this is what either your video or stream would look like. So let's say I'm streaming on YouTube and I could only do 720p. So I could be looking at a 1080p screen, but they're gonna see a 720p screen basically. And for this, you could leave this. It doesn't matter really. It depends on what you're going to be doing in your editing software. So don't worry about that. Now, here comes the big boy part. So basically, if you use common FPS, it's just going to stop you at 60. If you're having low FPS drops in game, put this at 30, which is like the lowest you should go. And if it's not working for you, just like turn down your in-game settings a bit and you should be good to go with 30. But if you're a beefy boy, slap up to 60. And if you're a boy like me who just wants to give the good quality and smoothness, you can record at 120 FPS. Some people record at 360, but depends on like what you do. So you could play around with this and see what works best for you, and it really doesn't matter. But for this one, keep the number at 1. And you could put this at any other number you want. Advanced settings. Here's where stuff get pretty nice. Okay, normally people would have this at above normal, but it literally doesn't do that much damage to your PC. But if it's not working for high for you, like you find it's like too blurry or something, do above normal. But I have mine at high. For well, digital 3D 11, pretty good. I don't use any one of these. I tried RGB and I didn't find the colors looked as nice, so I did NV12. And same for color space, it was at 601, but I put it to 709. For color range, keep the colors at full, and that's it. Replay buffer, I don't use these stuff, so they really don't matter to me, but just in case if you want it, there are my settings. Alright, finish. So those are my settings for recording and streaming. So I'm gonna show you how to create a scene now. So when you get OBS, it would probably look like this. And you're probably like, what in the world do I do right now? This is exactly what you do. First, you have a game open which you want to play. Let's open up Minecraft really quickly. So this is what you have it as right now. So now that I have Minecraft open, so come across your scenes, click on, you can name this as anything, so you can name it like Minecraft, enter, and you come over here and you get game capture. It's capturing the game only, okay, not the whole entire screen. So I'll name this Luna. So it's capturing this specific screen only, and you have the changes. Instead of full application, put it to capture specific window. And now you come in here and you look for the stuff that you have. So like I have Groove Music, I don't know why that's open. I have OBS, another OBS in the background, as you can see. I have 2, and the other one would be Luna Client. And I click on OK, and it's right there. It's gonna be blank at first, so you have to go back in, like tap around, move around a bit, and continue going and going and going. And now it should be back into OBS. So let's go back and see. Alright, there it is. Move it around. Let's say if you're doing like a picture in the background, you could like make it a bit smaller and then add like a cool stuff on the side, you know, or have it in the middle like right here and make like beams or something. I don't know, whatever you want. And for you to stop making it move, you just come over here, then you lock it in place, and now you can't move it. The next one would be adding audio. As you can see, I have no audio in here, like you're not hearing anything. So what you have to do is come over here and your output audio. This is like what the viewers would be hearing. So basically you click on that, name it as output, and I have 3 right now. Default, which is just like from my PC itself, and then my monitor, and then my headphones. Normally keep this at default, so keep that like that. And now we got the editing settings. I'm using Wondershare Filmora because like that's the easiest to get right now at the moment. New project. So let's say you've finished doing your video, you want to like make it look spicy and stuff. So first, so I got this also video that I need to post. I slap that in there and you put it in as how you recorded it. Okay, see, if you record it in 1080p 60 fps, you do that. And now as you can see, we're like, just, you see it's kind of blurry, right? And you see what it's telling you to preview render. You don't need this, but like it's something good to have. And also good tip, please don't upload on YouTube in 1080p. I know you're probably like, what? Why not 1080p? Everyone else is using 1080p. Because YouTube plays favorites. So what I do is I come in here and I do custom. I do a custom resolution, which is 1440p, which is 2560 by 1440. If you didn't do it correctly, like let's say you did 264, you see how it's not like lined up? You need to have it at 16 by 9, and then if you slap in OK, well, it's like that. And when you finish editing, like you did some cuts and stuff, bump up the volume, did like the cuts where it's not going good, and then you're finished. What you have to do is export and go into the settings. Of course, you see I did 2560 by 1440, which is 1440p. So you come in here, this is the settings, and then you click OK, and then you export. And export means it's gonna render it and make it look nice and buttery smooth, so don't worry about that. Alright, let's head on to Sony Vegas now. Okay, same thing applies to Sony Vegas. As you can see, it's ready for the my normal recording settings, which is 120 FPS, but normally you would have this in 60 or something, 1080p or 720p. So what you must do is you click over here. Oh wait, let's drag a video in. So my also video that I have to post. So what we have to do is, you see how it's looking buttery smooth on the corner over here? Because I have a special settings. So this is in 1080p 120 FPS. So what you must do is take this and as usual put it to 1440p, which is 2650. Yeah, the Emperor made a oof. Put that 2650 to 2560, but save the 1440p. That's it. By 1440. Next, you have the best, which is like the best settings for like when you're rendering, as it says, render quality, best. Motion blur type, Gaussian. Blind fields, yes. Smart resample, don't force resample because it's gonna look ugly. So use smart resample. It's gonna do it when it knows best, which is normally like always. So when you're finished with that, you come across to your render as, and then you got to do this. If you have a NVIDIA GPU, this would say NVIDIA most likely, or just keep it as this. But what you need to do is come over here. We make sure what I'm doing. I have magic HEVC/AAC MP4. Make sure it's MP4, okay? And then you pick any random one, and you click on customize template, and you see how it's like this. You need to change this, so you could slap on custom and make sure it's the same 1440p. So which is 2560 by 1440, and then you keep everything else the same, nothing else, don't change it. Then you click on OK and you should save it. Well, it's the same thing, so it's gonna stay like that, but change the name of it to like YouTube or something. So this is my template right here. See, 2560 by 1440, and this is it. I put mine at 1440p 60 FPS YT, and then you render, and when it's finished, it's finished. You see it's looking buttery smooth with the cursor going off. This is how we do it. Well, thank you all for watching me my settings for OBS. I greatly appreciate it, and I hope you have a nice day, and goodbye. So any questions, just ask me in the comment section. So goodbye.